We'd like to welcome you to come have a seat and join us in a song we'll be doing in a round. We'll sing it once through first, and then Lynn will start this half, your right half first, and I'll start this left half second in the round. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are. Through worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come.
Good morning. There we go. Welcome to Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Reverend Sarah Oglesby Dunnigan. My pronouns are she, they, and it is my pleasure to welcome you this morning to our service. This service is designed to be a multi-generational service, so you'll see our kids are going to be with us and enjoying their time. And all Community Sunday, when we welcome our children to remain with us and learn how to worship and how worship can be meaningful to them. Today is an especially special day because our youngest nursery children are here among us. We have launched a bit earlier than planned, a parent-child area in the corner back there, over by the tech booth, where parents and babies and toddlers can sit comfortably and still be with us here in the sanctuary. And we're going to be adding some pieces to that to make it more and more comfortable. We invite you to welcome these young families into our sanctuary and worship. So let's all say welcome. So this month we're exploring the idea of invitation, what it means to practice invitation and embody invitation. And our younger participants in the kinder and first grade classes are going to go to class eventually, but we invite the rest of our younger generations to stay with us. I've passed out some bingo cards. How many people have one? If you want one, raise your hand and maybe someone will bring one to you. Let's see, Nick or Ada or somebody will help pass them out. This is just a little experiment. I know other churches do this as a way to kind of help, especially our younger folks, keep track of what's happening in the service. So if you hear me say the word or you see the thing happening, you can check it off. If someone next to you gets a bingo, give them a high five. We've also passed out some colored envelopes. How many people have those? Those are about one per family group, and they have some things in them we're going to use later. So if you need one of those, there'll be another chance for us to pass those out too. You can share among family groups, yep, or friend groups or whoever. So today, y'all, is Mabon, or the autumn equinox, when day and night are balanced. This is a day of celebrating the harvest, expressing gratitude, and leaning into the seasonal change, which here in the Valley of the Sun means slightly cooler temperatures, maybe? So let's take a minute to wave to our online folks. They'll be up in the camera in a minute. The camera's there. Wave to them and say, welcome. And also wave to each other. Hello, everyone. Look around, see who's here. Hey, when our younger folks are with us, it's a little noisier, but you know what? That is the sound of our future. Amen? That is the sound of our future. And it's great for them to learn how to be with us and for us to make space for them to be who they are, which is a little wigglier and a little noisier than some of us, and that's okay. So, if you're new today, we're glad you came, and we invite you to join us after service for refreshments and conversation. We'll have a welcome circle over here where we're currently making bracelets. Heads up if you want to make a bracelet for someone today or a necklace, there's beads and stuff to do that with. So you're welcome to visit that table. If you're an adult and you'd like to maybe help manage the chaos at that table, we certainly wouldn't mind the little extra set of eyes. If you're new and you're willing to stand or raise your hand so that we can know who to look for after service, we would love that. If you're too shy, we totally get it. But I would invite you to stand now if you're willing and able to give us a little heads up who to look for after service. And if you were too shy to stand, it's okay. You can come meet us one-on-one over here, and that'll be fine as well. So let the people say welcome again. Excellent. Y'all are getting better and better at that. Let's just work that muscle. We do have pastoral care throughout the week, and there's a couple people who agreed to be kind of on hand. Carl Anderson will be in person today. Raise your hand, Carl. Go ahead and stand. Go ahead and stand. Carl in the purple. He'll come up here next to where the chalice is. If you have something that's on your heart and mind that you want to talk to a pastoral care person about, please come find him. He's also available throughout the week, as is Melissa Bush online. You can write to them at pastoral care at VUU during the week as well. Today we won't be taking a separate time to light candles, which are over there, and do the centering we normally do as a grown-up community after the young ones leave. And I would invite you, if you want to light a candle or put water in the fountain or touch a stone, that you can do that anytime during the service. Kids are up and moving around. You can get up and move around during a song or when it is moving to you to do that. It might be at the end of service. It might be right now. So take care of yourself the way that you need to for that. Caring Neighbors is also a community that helps us take care of each other through life's joys and trials. They help out with things like meals if you've had surgery or an illness or something's going on that you just need extra help with. They do social gatherings, and occasionally they help out with things like rides to appointments, just whatever you might be needing. Every community around the metro has a Caring Neighbor leader, and they can be reached at caringneighbors@vuu.org. So with all of that, I would like to invite David Black and whatever portion of his family is willing to come light the chalice as we all say the chalice lighting words. And it's always fun to feature a family doing this. David leads the group that meets before service with some other folks called the Dalai Lama and Friends, and they do some meditation and some Dharma talks and some just centering and all that. So they're going to light as we, well, go ahead and say your names, y'all. Hang on. Say your names into there.
I'm Ash.
Go ahead.
I'm Acer.
Ash, Acer.
And I'm
Auden. Ander. And that's David. Welcome. Okay, let's do our words together. We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice. Thank you. See, it's not that hard. I invite you into worship this morning with these words that echo the words of Persian poet Rumi. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come, which we just sang. So Ann Slater says, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. And we come from rich heritages of liturgy and pomp. We come from burning legacies of angry gods and threats of hellfire. We come just as we are. We come with exuberant and joyful hearts, eager to witness to others. We come bereft of the goodness of life, wondering, hesitant. We come just as we are. We come in the bloom of youth, ready to explore new truths. We come ready to sit with and apart from our children and be nourished for an hour. We come with gray in our hair and experiences to share. We come just as we are. We come to the place we never knew before was home. We come to the place that has been home for most of our lives. We come just as we are to join our brothers and sisters and siblings as members of one family in this beloved home, our hands and hearts outstretched. Come, yet again, come. Welcome all.
Please rise in body or spirit. For our opening hymn, we're going to sit at the welcome table. We're gonna sit at the welcome table. We're gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days, hallelujah. We're gonna sit at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. All kinds of people around the table. All kinds of people around the table one of these days, hallelujah. All kinds of people around the table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. No fancy style at the table. No fancy style at the table one of these days, hallelujah. No fancy style at the table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days.
I think we have Katrina telling our story today. And she teaches in the second and third grade classroom, Katrina Sapaki. She's also a youth that's grown up in our congregation. And one of our goals of having teachers help tell the story is that you will know who's teaching our classes and get a sense of who else is involved in our program. So let's turn this back around for you. Yeah.
At this time, any of the youth can go ahead and come on up for this and sit in the front for this story if they want to. Also, anyone who feels like they are young at heart, you are more than welcome to come and join us. As Reverend Sarah said, my name is Katrina Zapacki, and I teach second, third grade here in Faith Formation. So, long ago, on a high hill in Greece, lived Philemon and Baucis. They were poor, but never unhappy. They had many hives of bees from which they got honey, and many vines from which they gathered grapes. One old cow gave them all the milk that they could use, and they had a little field in which grain was raised. The old couple had as much as they needed and were always ready to share whatever they had with anyone in want. No stranger was ever turned away from their door. At the foot of the hill lay a beautiful village with pleasant roads and rich pasture lands all around, but it was full of wicked, selfish people who had no love in their hearts and thought of only themselves. At the time of the story, the people in the village were very busy. Zeus, who they believed ruled the world, had sent word that he was about to visit them. They were cooking a great feast and making everything beautiful for his coming. One evening, just at dark, two beggars came into the valley. They stopped at every house and asked for food and a place to sleep. But the people were too busy or too tired. They were thinking only of the coming of Zeus. With sore feet and being very tired, the two beggars came to the hut of Philemon and Baucis. These good people had eaten very little, for they were saving their best food for Zeus. When they saw the beggars, Philemon said, "Surely these men need food more than Zeus. They look almost starved." "Indeed they do," said Baucis. And she ran quickly to fix supper for the men. She spread her best white cloth upon the table and fixed bacon, herbs, honey, grapes, bread, and milk. She set these upon the table in all the best dishes she had and called the strangers in. Then what do you think happened? The dishes that the strangers touched turned to gold. The pitcher was never empty, although they drank glass after glass of milk. The loaf of bread stayed always the same size, although the strangers cut slice after slice. "These are very strange travelers," whispered the old couple to each other. "They do wonderful things." That night, Philemon and Baucis slept upon the floor so the beggars might have their one bed. In the morning, they went with the travelers to the foot of the hill to see them safely started on their way. "Now, good people," said one of the strangers, "we thank you, and whatever you wish shall be yours." As he said this, his face became like that of the sun. Then Philemon and Baucis knew that Zeus had spoken to them. "Grant, O Zeus, that one of us may not outlive the other," they cried in one voice. "Your wish is granted," said Zeus. "Yes, and more. Go to your home and be happy." Philemon and Baucis walked home, and lo, their hut was changed into a beautiful castle. The old people turned around to thank their guests, but they had disappeared. In this castle, Philemon and Baucis lived many years. They did all they could for others and were always so happy that they never thought of wishing anything for themselves. As the years went by, the couple grew very old and feeble. One day, Baucis said to Philemon, "I wish we might never die, but could always live together." "That is my wish too," sighed old Philemon. The next morning, the palace was gone. Baucis and Philemon were gone, but there on the hill stood two beautiful trees, an oak and a linden. No one knew what became of the good people. After many years, however, a traveler lying under the trees heard them whispering to each other. "Baucis," whispered the oak. "Philemon," replied the linden. There the trees stood through the sun and rain, always ready to spread their leafy shade over every tired stranger who passed that way.
Your mic's not on yet. Hang on a sec.
Okay.
Go ahead and try again.
So in this story, Philemon and Baucis welcomed people into a new place. What are some things that make you guys feel welcome? Do you want to raise your hand? What makes you feel welcome in a new place?
When people are nice to each other, like if they were really mean at first and then they got better with their behaviors and stuff like that, and they did what.
Might have to move it a little closer to her mouth.
So basically when people are kind to each other and give people generosity. Yeah? Anyone else? Any other things that make people feel welcome? Yeah? What makes you feel welcome?
Helping people at new places.
Helping people? Yeah. So what do we here at VUU do to help people feel welcome? Yeah?
I love making nail polish on my nails because I like it so much.
Yeah. That's fun. Say, do you guys have, oh, there's an answer over there. Oh my gosh. Say, what do we do here at VUU to make people feel welcome?
I make them feel welcome by giving a hug.
Giving them hugs? Oh, that's very nice. One last one.
Singing songs?
Singing songs, yes. So if you were going to invite someone new to come to VUU, what would you tell them about this place? Yeah?
They help a lot of people, if they have certain things that other people don't have, like if they're different or if they have special needs, they help them.
Good answer.
You could say that you're welcoming.
Yeah. So VUU is very welcoming of new people, and we are generous, and we help people in need and help people adapt. So are all wonderful, amazing answers.
So I wonder if the adults have some answers for that as well. What do we do to help folks feel welcome here at VUU? Come over here to Mary Kate.
We have the Welcome Circle for new people, which I personally love because you could ask questions, share your backstory, and get to know the minister or other longtime members. Gives you a good impression of what happens outside of just the service.
What else?
We wear name tags so we can see who everybody is and feel like we know each other even when we forget their names.
So Beverly McCormick taught me that it's very important to smile, which I was not great at. So I have made an effort to smile when I greet people and meet people, and it's been a good thing.
I love it. Oh, coming to Sheila.
I love it that we use our pronouns. So we let others, tell us what their pronouns are. And then I also like how you're open to other opinions. Yeah.
One more.
And we talk to each other before or after service, maybe? Just stop in and say hello?
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and take a couple more because Pat raised her hand, and so did Amanda.
Hi, I'm Pat. I'm one of the greeters when you come in that door, and I like to say welcome to everyone. And if you are receptive, I like to give a hug. Sometimes I think I started hugs in this congregation. So welcome to everyone.
And I love the way that you welcomed that you wanted consent for the hug before you asked for it, which is great. That's also very welcoming.
For me personally, it's the snacks. I think that's very welcoming.
I tell you what, in my last career, they called me Food Sarah, and I feel like Food Sarah and Reverend Sarah are very much the same person. Well, we have a couple other things that happen. Nick, here in the back, raise your hand, Nick. Nick gets here early. They're clapping. If you're new, you don't know why they're clapping. But Nick does all the behind-the-scene things that make sure that things are where they need to be and are set up. And we have a crew of folks that set up and make coffee, set out the food. If you're somebody who's brought refreshments or other things so that we have snacks, raise your hand. Yeah. So there's lots of ways that we create welcome, and there's folks who set up and clean up. And there's even folks who set up for, did you know that there's people who sleep in this space at least once a week? How many people knew that? Yeah. So on Monday nights often, and sometimes on Tuesday nights, we have folks from iHelp who come set up their beds and spend the night, have a meal in here, have a lunch to take with them the next day because they are in between having homes to live in. And so we create a space of welcome for them as well. We also have a Jewish congregation that meets here once a week, and we try to make it a welcoming space for them. And this place gets rented out to a lot of people, so there's lots of ways that we welcome folks. Thank you so much for your story, Katrina. We're going to play a little game. Who doesn't like a game? If I say something and it relates to you, like, for example, who has a September birthday? Go ahead and stand. If you have a September birthday, stand up. Take a look around. Happy birthday. And all different ages of people have September birthdays. If you were born in Arizona, stand or raise your hand. Okay. Not very many of you. That's surprising. If you were born in Colorado, anybody else born in Colorado with me? All right. If you were born in California, okay. Somebody call out a state for me. Pennsylvania. If you're born in Pennsylvania, stand up. Oh my goodness, take a look around. What one were you going to say? Illinois. If you were born in Illinois. Oh, so many Chicago people end up here, huh? Was Michigan. She wants me to say Michigan. If you're born in Michigan, look around. All right. Excellent. North Carolina. Whoop, whoop, Beverly. South Dakota. All right. Anybody else want to call out their state? Overseas. If you were born overseas, not in the United States. All right. Maryland. Anybody else born in Maryland? It's only you. Excellent. Well, see, so sometimes we don't all have something in common. Okay, let's try another one. How many people speak a language other than English? Stand up if you speak a language other than English. If that language is Spanish, stay standing. If that language is Navajo. Oh, okay. If that language is German, French, I don't know what else to call out. Danish. Okay. All right, how many of you, Yes, even if you only speak a little bit of it, it's okay. You can claim it, especially if you're young and you're learning still. How many of you play an instrument, a musical instrument? Stand up if you play a musical instrument. Wow, look at all the musicians in the room. Somebody take note. Rick, note who stood up. Okay, I play trombone. Any other trombonists in the room? No. Now I'm sad that I outed myself. I will not be playing trombone for you publicly. How many of you play a sport? Okay. Excellent. Excellent. How many of you like to read? Okay, that's like almost the whole room. Y'all, this is a room full of readers. Amen? All right. How many of you like to hike? I feel like this is also a very Arizona thing. Yes. How many of you make your own jewelry? Okay. I'm looking around to see who I might get jewelry from. How many of you wrote something that got published? Okay. Way to go. Way to go. So, no matter what age we are, we can have things in common with each other. And one of the ways that we begin to create a place of welcome is to learn about each other, the things we have in common, and to know that it's important, even for the youngest person in our room, to know that they're important, that we know their name, and to be welcoming to them. So we're going to sing a song together, kind of about that.
Hello. I loved that. One of the kids said that they feel welcome when we sing together. So we're going to sing together. Come sing a song with me. Please rise in body or spirit.
Oh, and If you are a kinder or a first grader, raise your hand. If you're a kinder or a first grader, we're going to give you your light and you get to go to your classroom.
Oh.
So if you're in kindergarten or first grade, come get your light and we'll sing you to your teacher. The rest of you can stay.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Okay, kids, you can either go back to your seats with your parents or you can come up here and just have a seat on the floor. I need somebody under the age of 18 to come draw a question from the question envelope. Do I have somebody under the age of 18, a kid or somebody who will come on up? You pull just one piece of paper out of there and then hand it to me. All right, well, let's read it together.
Would you prefer to be invited to a party with 100 people or a party with 10 people, and why?
Okay, would you prefer to be invited to a party with 100 people or a party with 10 people, and why? Okay, who would like to go? You want to answer the question? All right, tell me your name.
I would prefer 10 people because you don't have to buy as much pizza.
That's a great answer, Jackson. A little easier to manage the details. You're kind of my man that way. I agree. I'm definitely for the 10. Anybody else want to answer? Come on up. If you're able to come forward, just come forward to me.
I come from a very big family, so it depends on who would be there and who can be on the roster, because I don't like leaving people out. But if it's 10 good people and it's a good situation, I'll invite them too, not let the other 100 know.
Anybody else? 10 or 100?
10, because 100 is overwhelming.
All right, where's my people who want 100? All right. Yes? 100? No?
I generally like small groups, but when you do something fun like dance, it's much more comfortable if there's like the anonymity of 100 people. If lots of people are doing it with you, then it's a little less self-conscious.
Okay, we'll take a couple more answers to the 10 versus 100.
100 because it wouldn't be fun for like if you're doing like a beach party for like volleyball, or if you're doing Jenga, or because if it's 100 people, if you do like Just Dance or something like that, you'd have a bunch of people cheering you on and stuff like that. So.
Oh, I see. Riley is ready to have lots of activities and lots of people doing them. Okay, I need an adult. Oh, did we have one more? Sorry.
100 because then you can play with more people.
More is better. More options to meet people. Okay, I'm going to have an adult come forward, somebody over 18, to draw another question out of our envelope. Any adult who's willing to draw a question. Evan, smiling Evan.
Yes.
Go ahead and turn around and show them your smile while you draw.
Okay, the question is there anything you would not want to be invited to, and why?
Anybody want to answer that question? I saw an immediate hand over. Come on over, Riley. Riley's got lots of answers today. I like this.
I wouldn't want to be at a library party because the librarian would probably just say shush all the time.
So Riley doesn't want to be quiet. I think we understand that. Okay, up here, Rita.
Republican Party convention.
Okay, well, there might be some people who want that, but yes, it's good to know what we don't want to be invited to. What else would you not want to be invited to?
Tubing down the river because I have a deep-seated fear of water.
Understandable. What else would you not want to be invited to, Anne?
A formal dinner where you have to dress up.
I'm kind of with you.
A nudist colony.
Okay, one more.
A pot party.
A pot party. Okay, again, some of us may want to, some of us may not.
That same nudist colony because of the weight I've gained during COVID.
Okay. So, these envelopes are part of a set of questions that came with our Soul Matters monthly theme. Each month, we send out a packet to families, and there's also questions that come up in the small group. We have a small group that's starting up for Soul Matters. We have a chance for you to check it out this week, and then we'll be starting to meet once a month in October. So one of the activities is answering questions, and I hope that you'll use these packets as a way to get to know each other and other folks in your family. They can be a dinner conversation or something you talk about on a road trip. How many of you are about to be on a fall break going out of town? Okay, this could be a little road trip opportunity to ask each other some questions. So I invite you into those questions. How many people have an envelope? Okay, so I'm going to actually give you a moment to pull a question out and then turn to a neighbor. It's going to be noisy. That's fine. You're going to turn to a neighbor and ask them that question and let them answer it. If you each have a question, you can maybe pick which one you want to answer. If you're not near somebody, you can move. If you're not near if you're like next to the one person you know, I would challenge you to find somebody you don't know and just move over a little or join a little group. So look around, see who you can connect with. Adults and kids, kids and adults, new people. All right. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and then I'm going to ring the bell. Okay, friends. The good news is hopefully you've all met somebody. How many met somebody new? Good job, good job. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worship, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. So I wanted to just take a few minutes to help us think about what does it mean to make an invitation? How many of you have invited someone to sit with you at lunch, maybe if you're at school or at work, maybe you have a space that you eat lunch in, or to go to lunch with you? Now, think about this. How did you make that invitation? What, did you send them an email? Clickety-clack, would you want to go to lunch with me? Did you call them and ask them to go to lunch? Did you send them a text message? Did you advertise it on a website? Yo, come to lunch with me. Meet me at blah, blah, or maybe in some Facebook group. Did you yell at them from across the room, hey, you want to go to lunch with me? No, probably not. How did you ask them? You probably asked them face to face, right? You like walked up to them and said, "Hi, Linda, do you want to go to lunch with me?" Why did you not do it like through a website or a text message? I mean, if you're like best friends, you might send a text message, but if it's somebody new, right, you're probably going to do it face to face. Because that's the best way to feel welcomed, right? What feels the best if you're being invited? Like, how do you most want to be invited? You want somebody to come up to you, right? And it should not be like casual, like, "Oh yeah, we're like going to this thing. We already made this plans, but you can join us too." That's not very welcoming, right? "Hey, we'd love for you to join us. You're brand new, but we would love to get to know you, and here's an opportunity to come have lunch with us. And this is when we're going." Just like thinking about the ways in which we make an invitation. Sometimes we're hesitant to make a really clear invitation, right? And sometimes it's because we're afraid of what? Yeah, they might say no. So if you can make it be really cash, like, it's fine if you don't want to go, then you haven't put very much of yourself out on the table, right? But if you really come up to the kid or the adult that's with you and you say, "Hey, would you like to join us?" It feels different to receive, right? How about inviting somebody to your home? How many of you invited somebody to your house? Kids, adults? Kids, have you invited somebody to your house before? Yeah, what was that like? Awkward, okay. How do you invite them? Do you send them a paper invitation and an envelope through the mail? You just call them? Yeah. "Mom or Dad, help me make this phone call. I want to invite so-and-so over." But you might send an invitation. How many people send invitations through the mail anymore? Or maybe take them to school, a handmade, like an envelope, piece of paper. We do that a little bit still, right? Not as much. What are you nervous about when you invite somebody to your house? Tell me, Riley, what's nervous about inviting somebody to your house?
They're going to make a giant mess and you have to clean it up.
Oh. This is for me? It's cute.
Beverly?
Oh, yeah. Delivery to Miss Beverly? I can do that. Beverly, there's somebody who's made something for you, and I'm bringing it over right now. Just give me a minute. So it's hard to invite people to your house sometimes, right? Somebody new. Why? How do you prepare for their arrival? Like, you might clean first. I like that. And some of us might be less worried about somebody making a mess in our house. Yeah.
Ask them if they're allergic to any foods or gluten-free or whatever.
Yeah, so making sure that you're prepared for what their needs are. That's kind of what we talked about in inviting people here too, right? Making sure we understand what people's needs are. What about inviting somebody here, like to your faith community? If you're new today, I don't know if somebody invited you. Maybe you felt the invitation on our Facebook page or our website, but maybe somebody actually told you about this place and invited you. Is it harder to invite somebody here than your house?
I just want to say Janice Pitsley invited me, and I had one important question, and it was, what do I wear?
Oh, yeah. How many people have some nervousness about what to wear in a new place like this? Right? Depending on where you grew up and what kind of idea you have about what a faith community is, you might have been worried that you had a... And she told us she didn't like to dress up, so that was a heck no if she was going to have to dress up. Some of you might have felt the same way. Or you might have felt like you overdressed when you came the first time and then you felt a little awkward. So like knowing what's it like? What are they going to do? Right? Giving people a heads up. What would you tell people about this place if you were going to make an invitation? What would you tell them so they'd be ready? All right, Paul.
Inclusive.
Okay, that they're going to be inclusive. What does that mean?
I told my mom, you don't have to believe in any like one particular thing. You don't have to like commit to anything because you're allowed to be indecisive or unsure or exploring different types of faith, different types of things to believe in. You can be whatever you want to be here.
Okay, Ross.
I often tell people you might not hear about Jesus, but you will hear about love.
That's great. That's a great description. Deanne?
I tell them it's going to be different every time, and sometimes it's going to feel kind of weird.
You can raise your hand if you have an amen for that. This is a good example, right? We don't always do it this way. How do you help somebody feel included? What do you need to know about them in order to make them feel welcome? And what do you want them to know about you?
First, you talk to them, especially if it's someone you haven't met before. Well, that for me is the hardest thing to do, but I think it's the most welcoming because it makes the other person feel seen.
That is so good. Yeah. Beverly, and then I'll come over to you. Beatrice.
Well, I sort of stand outside and I look at the people coming in, and whether I know them or not, I kind of identify something that they seem to be proud of. They have on a new pair of shoes, or they're wearing a color that's particularly great on them. And I say, boy, you really look great in that color. How did you find that? And all of a sudden, you have somebody talking to you.
I was going to say that it's really important that you can pronounce their name correctly. My name is Beatriz, and you couldn't believe how many changes of that version I get. And so it's really important, especially when we're working with kids, that you pronounce their name and don't change their name. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, just hearing our name is actually a very welcoming thing. That's part of why wearing name tags can be so important, because just hearing somebody say your name feels good.
And on that same note, I think that when there's a name that's difficult for us to pronounce, or we don't know how to pronounce it, it's okay to ask and to say, please say your name again, because I want to get it right. We don't always. And then I'm going to just add one thing. The hardest time I have here is that I know so many people, and it's so easy to just stay in conversation with them instead of making a concerted effort to have a conversation with somebody I don't know.
Thanks, Barb Quijada.
I really appreciate the conversation, and I just wanted to add one thing that really makes me feel welcome is when I'm welcome to make mistakes. Because I've been in situations where I have not been able to do that, and then places where I am. And I feel so welcome when I can be who I am and grow. So, thank you.
I have an amen for that. So belonging, something happens to us when we feel belonging, right? We feel like we can help out. We're more willing to show up, bring our own talents and skills, be willing to add our thoughts and ideas, be willing to share, make a bracelet for somebody. And sharing leadership and care for the community is an important piece. One of the most important pieces of having our kids in the room with us occasionally during worship instead of always sending them out is helping them to see how they can move into leadership in this community, helping them see what it means to step up and do simple things like setting up the room. I had help this morning from a bunch of folks, including young people, setting up. And even doing things like lighting a candle or maybe helping lead a song. Figuring out how we can invite others into the work that we do. If you have a task you do every Sunday, like Nick has about 200, he would love to have you come early and learn how to do some of those things. They're so simple. It's things like putting out signs and making sure things are ready to go on the candle table. And so inviting people to help you and then saying yes when they offer are two of the other pieces of creating a sense of belonging. And I really want to just leave us with this thought of this question of how do we make space for new people and younger people to find their place in our community? What are we doing to actively invite them and to welcome them? And how can we keep doing that? And if you've recently been welcomed, what worked for you that you can do for somebody else? So that's where I want to end our conversation. And I'm going to hand it over to Noelle in a moment. But we do take a collection every Sunday. And this is a time for us to share our resources. You can do this by going to our website or putting something in the plate that we're going to pass or mailing something to us if you're still using stamps. How many people still have stamps at home? Okay, so see, there's lots of ways to do the thing. So I invite you, if you're able to put something in the plate, that you do that. But if you're new and you're a guest, your presence is gift enough, and we're so glad you were here to be with us. And while we're passing the offering plates, we're going to sing a song. First, we're going to be led in hearing a song, actually. So
I want to introduce this song. This is by Isla Nerio, and it's inspired by Celtic folk music in honor of Mabon, and it goes with the theme as well today. It's called The Course, and this tells a story of anxiety and concern by the elders and the leaders of the community, wondering about how the next generation will step up and carry the mantle, and whether they'll do it with the love and the care that the current and the previous elders and leaders did it with. It's about things like finding the source of water, calling down the rain, fetching the water, bringing it to the community, and telling the stories of the community. And at the same time, it's a call, it's an invitation, a welcome in hope and faith that the next generation will carry the mantle and will keep the community going and meet the needs of the community. So it's all about maintaining that balance of the cycle of life. One generation leads, another generation steps up. So I've got up here at the front, we've got Alex, Clarissa, and Rihanna are going to help us with this music today. Whoa, 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 whoa,
From the source, how will it find us, my darling? What'll be the course?
And who will call the rain? Feel it fall into our skin from a welling within who call the rain.
And who will strike the drum when our thundering heartbeat needs it? When our feet gotta pray it down, who will beat the ground? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Who will speak in truth, and where will they walk? And show us how, my darling, who'll sow the truth.
And where from will it bloom? To the story as we shape it for each other, brother, sister, what we choose.
This breath we've been given, this life we've been tending, this garden we are seeding for the ones yet to come. Oh, who will fetch the water? Will it be your great-granddaughter, my darling? Who will fetch the water? I'll fetch the water, and I will be the course. And I will call the rain. I will call the rain. I'll fetch the water. I will be the course, and I will call the rain. I will call the rain. I'll fetch the water. I will be the course, and I will call the rain. I will call the rain. I'll fetch the water. I will be the course, and I will call the rain. And I will call the rain.
Thanks to all who came today. Try to meet someone new before you leave and find someone to thank. Take the questions home and ask them at dinner time or in the car, or write about them in a journal. Won't you join me in these closing words? If you can read them on the screen, we'll just say them together. Let's be the welcome we crave. Open hearts, arms outstretched. Let's embody radical welcome, unquestioning love. Let's be the welcome we crave, deeply hearing voices and hearts. Let's be the welcome we crave, enriching understanding. Let us embody the community we crave. And we're going to sing one last song, all of us together, before we extinguish the chalice and move into a time together.
I didn't mean to do that in the microphone. You are, hopefully you know this. This is one we've been singing. It's not one of our hymns, so please join in. And we have a call and response kind of piece, so you can join in either one, whichever one is like dominant for in your ear and feels more natural to you. Let's rise in body or spirit. Keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. You gotta keep your heart wide open until your faith brings you back to solid ground. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open. Though the waves wanna push me around. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open. solid ground.
Till my faith brings me back to solid ground.
We're gonna keep our hearts wide open. Though the waves wanna push us around. We've gotta keep our hearts wide open till our faith brings us back to solid ground.
Brings us back to solid ground.
Won't you join me in extinguishing the chalice with these words? Though they extinguish the chalice, our connection to each other and this community remains. May its light guide us this week as we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, and fill our world with compassion until we meet again. And as you're getting ready to go enjoy refreshments or come to a circle over here that will convene in a moment, or pass somebody a bracelet that you've made, I remind you that in our happenings, there's two kinds of classes that are opening up: the small group Soul Matters that meets once a month, and also a larger sort of statewide Creating Theology Together that you can sign up for. So look for those in your happenings. Go in peace. See you next week.